This is Unfiltered, presented by Youth of MCC.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Jamal. I'm joined here today with Damor, Anam, and Musani for another episode on Unfiltered. Today we're going to be talking about our college reflections, and we also want to say Eid Mubarak to everyone since this is the first podcast dropping after Eid. And since we're recording this, no, it hasn't been Eid yet, but we're going to ask everyone around on the pod what their first meal is going to be once it's Eid. So let's go ahead and start with Damor.
I can't really think of a specific meal that I've been craving because my food habits have been all over the place because I just don't get hungry that much. But I really do. I'm a fan of like iced coffee now. For some reason, I always after iftar I've been going to Dunkin' and getting like a small iced coffee. So I'm not really addicted, but I mean that's my current binge.
Salam everyone. So I'm craving like big kinds of food. Like I'm craving seafood, like shrimp and red lobster. So yeah, that's what I'm craving. Definitely not desi food. I'm tired of it. Done with the ghar ka khana.
Bougie.
What's up, guys? I think for me, what I'm craving, right before quarantine started, I had a friend who works at GNC get me some Ghost chocolate, like the Chips Ahoy protein.
Oh yeah,
And then we got hit on quarantine. And so I haven't had it in a month and a half. So I think once this is over, I think that's what I'm going to go for. Probably won't be too smart of idea. May run out, but I don't know when we're going to reopen.
Is that what you're going to have for breakfast?
Yeah, I low-key, I think I'm going to go eat namaz. That's what I'm going to have. And then I'm taking a nap.
It's like a small slice.
Are you guys still going to have your Eid naps?
Power.
Is
Yeah,
Eid nap still gonna be a
you
thing
have to
Yeah.
have
at
an
home?
Eid nap.
Possibly, most likely. My schedule's all over the place.
How do you not have an Eid nap, though? It's like, that is tradition.
100%. I think my first meal, traditionally, has been McDonald's because we're always running late to eat namaz. We always stop on the way there. But this year, I'm honestly feeling just some cereal.
Yeah.
I just want to have some cereal in the
classic.
morning, have like a classic breakfast.
Yeah, I haven't had cereal in so long,
It's
and
been a
that's
minute.
always my go-to. So
Seriously.
Fruit Loops. I'm
Bro,
craving
I've had
Froot
Cookie
Fruit Loops
Crisp.
for cereal for
Cookie
30
Crisp.
days.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah.
I can't have
No.
cereal for
I
cereal,
can't
bro. I
cereal for
can't do
cereal.
Yeah,
it.
me
Like,
neither.
Yeah.
Cereal for cereal is a game changer.
It takes too long to eat, and,
And
then
it
I'm
doesn't
like,
fill
I've been
you
here
up.
forever.
It's like-
yeah.
It's like not
It
there.
didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and hop into the topic for today. So all of us, alhamdulillah, are in college or wrapping up college or just graduated college. So we thought it would be a cool idea to do like a college reflection. We're all seniors here. So I guess we'll talk about real quick, go around like what school we go to and what high school we came from, and then kind of talk about that journey, that transition. So I'm currently at DePaul University, graduating soon, inshallah, and I came from Maine South High School. So I guess we'll just go around and do that first.
I'm currently at DePaul, but before that, I went to Oakton for 2 years. Shout out to Oakton, and before that, I was at Niles West.
So I went to Maine West High School, and then I did 2 years of Oakton Community College, got my associates there, and then I transferred to Loyola University.
I did 4 years at DePaul, like Jamal, and then I went to Niles West with some more. So
Bet. Okay. So, what was your transition like? So, what made you choose the college that you chose in high school? What were the factors that were there? And are you happy with your choice? Whoever wants to answer.
So I'll go first. So with me, I kind of just followed my sister's footsteps because she was the one that told me like, hey, as a senior, I was like, it was like springtime, and she was like, listen, I'm about to sign you up for Oakton classes. I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm still in high school. Like, I'm trying to graduate. I want to focus on this. She's like, nope, I'm going to force you to take Oakton classes right now while you're still in high school. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do it because I'm listening to you. You're older than me. You know more. So I just started Oakton like when I was like 17, and I was like a young kid with the class. I was taking like night classes so I can so it made sense because I'd come back from school, have that 2 hour leeway, and then I was 17 in a class full of like old people, and I felt so out of place, but it was cool. It was cool, and I'm glad I went to Oakton for the first 2 years because I think financially it was the smarter decision to make, and I'm happy with my transition of how it all went to DePaul. So that's
Real quick, like, what's the difference between like Oakton and like a university for people that don't know?
Community college is just, to me, it's financially more affordable, so that's why a lot of people choose to go to community college over like a 4 year off the bat. What other? I don't know what other. I can't think of other like specific factors there are besides financials or. I mean, even if you're like kind of
Closer to home too, right?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And if you're still like
you don't
thinking
know what
about
you wanna do, yeah.
exactly, I was about to say that out of high school when you're like you aren't really sure what you want to do with your career, you might just go to community college, get your gen eds out the way since we all have to take those. That's where you
Bet for sure.
take the time to find yourself, pretty much.
I think another thing, one of the biggest things for me was I was able to get a degree there. So when I transferred, all those classes that I took were locked in, and they all got accepted when I transferred to like a university. So that was another big thing. But again, like Tamur said, the financial reason was one of the biggest reasons why I decided to go to a community college before going to a four-year college. And I mean, I knew what I wanted to do, but in high school, I didn't do my best. So I obviously didn't have like the grades that would get me into like getting a really good scholarship. And I wasn't in a place where I could just fully pay out of pocket for any tuition, like any four-year tuition. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll knock out 2 years at community college, get my associate's degree, and then transfer out. And when I tell you guys, I was the most embarrassed. Like, thinking back, I was so embarrassed to tell anyone, like, oh yeah, I'm going to community college. Like, do you guys remember Decision Day, May 1st, and everyone wears their gear, like, for where they're going?
Bro.
I was like, I am not wearing an owl on my shirt. Like, I'm not going to school. It was just so embarrassing. Like, all my friends in my little circle, they all went to university straight away. And I was like, okay, I'm like the one that doesn't go anywhere. Like, I'm going to community college. And I don't blame people for feeling that way, because I feel like community college is looked upon like so negatively. Like, people think like, oh, you're stupid, that's why you go, or like, you don't care about school, that's why you go there. And I wish there was someone to tell me what I'm telling the audience now, that community college has not only been the best decision of my academic life, but my entire life in general. Like, I saved money, I got my credits out of the way. When I transferred, the Loyola didn't look at any of my high school stuff, so when I did do so bad, all they saw was, okay, she did really well at Oakton. I got like a transfer scholarship because of my grades at Oakton, and then I was able to go to Loyola. But if I were to go straight from Maine West, from high school, there was no way, I would be able to afford it, or, it just would have been a completely different experience. So, again, community college is one of the best decisions. And if you're someone right now that's listening and you're kind of feeling that way, like you're kind of bummed out about going to community college, and you feel like you're going to be left out, and you feel all these you feel like you're missing out in the college life, trust me, you are making such a great decision. And you might not feel it now, but later on you're going to realize that. So I wanted to give a little PSA for that.
I think you made some great points there. I completely forgot that, like, first of all, I really needed those 2 years to grow as an individual, because it really made me like think about life and think about just different factors that apply to different like school and stuff like that. But coming in high school, everyone had the negative connotation that, oh, if you go to community college, you're like a failed, like you're just a delinquent, you're not good at school. Yeah. And at Oakton, I'm not gonna lie, it was like I call it Jokton too at first. Like it was just that's the nickname it got. Yeah. And I was embarrassed to go to Oakton at first, but I'm like super proud looking back at it. Like I contemplated buying Oakton gear. Like I wanted an owl crew neck or something like that. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna represent Oakton.
I didn't want to leave at a point.
It was. I built a lot of friendships and stuff, so I got close to a lot of people. So it was a really fun experience. But yeah, you do really have that connotation that like, hey, half the kids are like half the kids are not as academically gifted as other people, but half the people are just like financially smart and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this first. So it's literally a 50-50, but it's up to you to decide.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. What Anam said resonates with me, because I was that person. Like literally, so at Maine South, it's like known as a really wealthy school. Like the parents of the students are typically like very, very wealthy. So like a lot of the kids go straight to university, and there was definitely a big like negative connotation around going to Oakton or going to like Harper or any type of community college, because like, oh, like why go there when you guys go to like ISU or Mizzou, where like the acceptance rate, or like UIC acceptance rate is like 100%, right? So like, I mean, that was like in my head, and I didn't even know about like my parents never like shed financial side on me. There's like whatever you want to do, go for it, right? So alhamdulillah, I was blessed with that. But I wish, like hindsight 2020, looking back, that I had that knowledge, because I would 100% gone to Oakton first, because I think it would have been better to be at home. The commute sucks. I went to DePaul, so like I commuted. Yeah. So taking the blue line to the red line every day was a hassle. Like looking back at it. I really wish I did go to Oakton, because like the more I wouldn't have met him, but he actually went to Oakton. I didn't meet him until DePaul. Yeah. So like it was like a whole thing. Like, a lot of the friends I met or like through my junior senior year, that like lived right by me. But yeah, Musani, how about you?
Yeah, I think before recapping on like what I did senior year, I think you guys all make really good points, and I think if anyone's listening that's in that position, it's really good to understand that if you don't know what you want to do right now, it doesn't obviously make sense. But if you're a kid who you either know what you want to do, you're set on it, or you've got like the grades to get into like a top ranked university, obviously financially it is what it is. But I think it's a really big thing to think about. If you know what you want to do, I'd go for it. Like for me, I've yet to change my major in college, so for me it made a lot of sense to go to DePaul. I wouldn't say that like that was my number one going in. I think we all had a conversation about this a couple weeks ago. We were like, well, what was your number one? And off the top of my head, like I think in high school I definitely like put everything first. Like I academically put that first. And so DePaul wasn't my number one, but it made sense out of the fact that like I'm the oldest, first gen. And if you're a first gen kid listening to this, you know what it feels like to be like the guinea pig, right? You're walking in blind. So for me, like walking into DePaul, I had no clue what I was doing. And if we're gonna talk about the transition, like that transition for me was so rough. So if you're gonna walk into like a 4-year or a 2-year and you're struggling, like make sure you take that mental break, right? You have cues that you know you're struggling. My first weekend at DePaul, I literally like I had to go to a shadi on Saturday, and that actually on like a Friday, and that Friday night I booked a flight out to Houston for the next morning. I paid like $500. Sunday morning I went and watched the Cubs play. Sunday night I watched the Bears play, and then Monday morning I came back and I'm like, all right, I got to get my head back in this. But I think it's really big to like think about like, the transition is rough. Like you're in a whole new ball game. You got to put yourself first.
So going back, do you think you would consider community college, or are you content with how it went?
I personally, I think I would never have, but I think it's because of all the reasons you're saying, right? There's this stigma and bias around it. And if you're going to reflect on who you are as a person, I think I have too much pride to go to community college and where I'm like looked at. I think that's the big thing for a lot of people. It's not that you don't know what you want to do or anything along those lines. It's that how are other people going to view me?
Yeah.
And that's not to say that like DePaul is this like Ivy League prestigious university, right? It is what it is, but it still has like a higher carrying value than something like an Oakton.
Yeah. Now, what are some things that you think Themur and I missed out from not going to a 4-year right away?
Yeah. Jamal, you want to take this one?
I mean, like, there's like the whole like the clubs on campus and stuff. It's different. I mean, Oakton probably had their own clubs, they had their own things going on, but like at DePaul, you had events like every single day, stuff you could attend. And you guys like the more and Musan, you guys just went there, so you guys know like the last 2 years, just stuff that you could do like every single day. The campus environment, that's cool too. But like honestly, the city. This being in the city was dope. That's probably the best thing about going to a university like DePaul and Loyola too. It's like in the city, like a red line away. Just in general though, like you were talking about decision day, and that's honestly one of my big factors too. I didn't think about community college, and I also had that negative connotation about it because everyone else on decision day was choosing these universities, and I was at a point where I'm like, I just hope I get into somewhere. Like my grades weren't amazing either, right? I'm like, I just hope I get in somewhere. I saw DePaul, I'm like, bet, committed, done. I'm wearing my DePaul swag day one. I swear, dude, it's like that.
It's the thing, like they hype it up so much that you feel like, okay, I need to wear something, I need to do something. Like people, post pictures and they post it on like everything, and you're like, oh great, like what am I supposed to do? And then you know how like they post it on their Insta bio, like the year, and I'm like, great, can't put anything on there. Like you just feel so left out.
In the bio, like
in the bio, yeah,
have
like
the
LUC
like DPU
20, yeah,
20.
So did y'all put like OCC 20 in your thing?
No,
we would never do that. That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. Yeah, we were like,
just
no,
kept it on the low.
No one can know. And you know what? When you would see people, I don't know if you can relate, but when you would see someone at Oakton, you literally wouldn't look at them. Like, they're there, but like I feel like you would just not make eye contact because it's like you don't need to know I'm here, and I don't need to know you're here. But again, like it's just so silly thinking about all these things because I'm like, again, I had a good time at Oakton. Like I proved myself that I am academically, like I can do it. And just being at home, I got to work, which is another thing. I got to work a lot, and by working a lot, that was the only way I was able to save up enough money to be able to pay for Loyola. So
yeah, bro. So you guys are talking about like what's the difference, right? Something I'm just thinking of right now. So I was a commuter, so I lost a lot of time commuting.
Yes.
But I think like the reason why people choose 4 years, right? People go like Mizzou or like ISU or something like that, or UIC. A lot of people dorm or get apartments, so you get like the whole college atmosphere.
Yeah.
In a sense, like you're living on your own, you're living on campus, and that's honestly the biggest difference I could tell. Like if you're commuting like I was, it's not worth it whatsoever. Don't do it. But like in general, like wrapping back, I was just about to say something and I completely forgot.
Real quick.
That's-
I'm
wow.
gonna disagree with you on that and give you a
Why?
second.
Why?
I'm
Why?
gonna give you a
Why?
second to
Why?
think about it, but I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
disagree. Out of the fact that Jamal, yeah, like you, like I commuted, right? So Skokie yellow line straight down, purple, red, whatever. You learn all the colors,
Yeah.
this entire rainbow. But
That's true.
for me,
It's-
I think
yeah.
freshman year. Granted, you guys said that you grew. I think when you're like on that hour red line and you're going through like that 4-year process, I think there's a different type of growth,
Yeah.
right? Because you guys still know like this is a means to an end. For you, you're either going to work your butt off to get to where you want to get to or you're not going to at all. And at DePaul, the big thing was a lot of like that freshman year and sophomore year is a lot of recruiting stuff. So for me, I feel like compared to the people that came in from like their community colleges, your friend circles that freshman year, that first week, you're in cliques.
Yes.
Without a doubt. Like you're in a dorm room, you're in a clique, you've got your friends, and now you're coming in junior year, you're either trying to break into a clique or you're trying to like be cliquey with the people that you're coming in with. So unless like Jamal, for you, like you met some more, but now you guys have similar friend circles. Had you not, do you think like you guys would have met at some point?
I mean, we met regardless. We met before he even transferred, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So
But
that's
like,
different.
but, like, we got closer because he came to DePaul.
Right.
Right.
But I get what you're saying, because one thing that I did miss out on from commuting, from transferring from a community college is I didn't make many friends at Loyola. Like friends that I could say, like I could, like invite them to my wedding or like be like close with them. Like everyone already has their groups. And when you're walking in like junior year, when everyone has like their group of friends and all like everything,
You're just trying to break in.
you just try really hard, and I feel like I just wasn't able to really fit in and get into like any group. It would be like hi, hello, but nothing like, oh, you want to go somewhere, you want, like, just it wasn't the same. And I felt like that really kind of affected my like experience in at Loyola for like not academic wise but like socially. I think that's one of my like regrets, which we'll talk about later, but I totally get what you're saying.
I see where you're coming from too. Like, I mean, I get it. Yeah, like you make friends your freshman year that you're gonna keep that the all 4 years,
Yep.
right? And then if you come in as a junior, like the more, how was it for you? Like when you came in junior year.
For me, I'd like made a set group of friends at Oakton that I got closer to, that I went to people that I went to high school with that I was
Yeah.
not really close to, but I got close to them at Oakton in those 2 years. And then I felt bad because I left them. I went to DePaul, and I already had my high school friends from DePaul that I just rejoiced with, and then I met more people from them meeting people. So I was blessed to always have friends around me. I never had the situation where I felt like I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna fit in or anything. As soon as I walked in, I feel like I fit right in.
You probably also had people that like transferred with you from Oakton to
Oh
DePaul.
yeah,
So
100%.
that worked out too,
that
probably.
exactly, yeah. I did notice one thing, like with Ummah, especially like the Muslim people in the community in DePaul and stuff. Like you guys have all been there for 4 years, so you guys are all very tight. I never got close to the Ummah kids and stuff like that, or like the Ummah whole group, because I feel like you guys are also like how you guys have been describing it. You guys have been there from the start. You guys clicked from week one, and you all just stayed there. Or maybe I never put in an effort to
No,
branch
think,
out. I think I was already set with the amount of friends I had, so I was.
I
Fine
don't know
with
if it's
that.
an effort thing. I think it's definitely like we tend to gravitate towards people you're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
And that first year of college, literally everyone is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah.
a lot of people, you're literally dorming and you're in your like your dorms, and you're friends with your roommate and maybe like your suite mate, right? And then you start to branch out and you're friends with your floor, and then maybe you're friends with people on different floors, and then your classes. But by the time you come around to junior year, like especially at like a DePaul or Loyola, you're in apartments, right? Like someone's not gonna just invite you to their apartment to like sit down and just chill. So it's different. Like it's not about the effort you put in. It's about the fact that you just weren't there through those first 2 years. And that's
Yeah.
like, you see that in any of your friend circles, when you add someone new in, you're just not comfortable with them right away. It takes time.
That's true. Dude, so something I heard, so that big thing at Maine South was in high school, right? Like Oakton's like a high school 2.0. Is that true? Is that like a feeling? Is it like a vibe?
So with me, I was in class with people I went to high school with. So I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? How was your summer? Yeah, we're back here. Nice to see you again. And so I just made friends with them. So I mean, you do have that vibe. You do see like some delinquents and stuff, and it kind of is a high school 2.0.
I feel like you keep saying delinquents.
I
man.
know,
That
but-
is so
no,
But you know
because-
what? He's right, and
No,
I'll talk about that.
There
but
are some, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But they unfortunately there will be like that type of crowd. But you just have to find like the people that you probably resonate with. Like I met a lot of Desi kids that I was not close to in high school, and I got close to them because of Oakton. But the only thing I feel like I missed out at Oakton was experiences as compared to DePaul. Like at Oakton, I went to class, I like did homework in
Went
like the lab,
home.
and I just went home. There was no
Yeah.
type of clubs or anything type of social events like you guys had the first 2 years. We didn't have that. We just focused on our education, got our grades up, and transferred.
I think
I was gonna say, to be totally fair though, real quick, whether or not you have quote unquote delinquents at Oakton, you definitely have them at DePaul or any school.
That's true.
Like some more, there's plenty of kids that you and I went to high school with that went into like a state, like a public
Yeah.
or a state school, and then like they joined a frat, did some dumb things, and then they ended up back home because like you can't handle it. So it's definitely, it's what you make of it too for anyone that is thinking about going to Oakton.
I think the reason people call Oakton or any community college, high school 2.0 is also because of the class sizes. I think I'd never had a class under or over like 15 kids. What? And for someone who likes that, again, that's another, I can add that onto my list of why I really enjoyed community college. But I mean, it's very small, you kind of know each other, especially if the first 2 years, everyone's taking the same kind of courses. We're all taking our gen eds, so you start taking classes with the same kind of people. Then you get to know them, and again, it starts kind of feeling like high school. You kind of know people by name. You know the professors by name. The professors know your name. So it does kind of feel like high school, but I don't think it's a bad.
It's not. It's a more high school environment because it's
Yeah.
not. There's no campus or anything in most community colleges and stuff like that. It's literally like a high school vibe. You walk into the establishment.
Yeah.
There's not that. She's right. There's not that many teachers. You pretty much kind of know familiar faces. You walk by like, hey, that's my bio teacher from last semester. It's like that. I feel like it's different at DePaul. I don't really see. It's so much bigger and stuff. So we never got that campus vibe. It's more
Yeah.
high school vibe that kind of connected the two.
Looking back, dude, I just think y'all are just smarter, dude, for going to Oakton. Honestly, everyone like looked down upon Oakton people, but it's honestly just a smarter choice. So
Yeah.
It'll
anyone
always
listening right now, if you're
be,
debating
yeah.
and if finance is a thing, bro, like Oakton's not all bad.
Yeah.
It's definitely not all
No.
bad, and these guys just said it too, which is awesome. But like, okay, so reflecting back on like college, so you transferred to Loyola, you transferred to DePaul to Moore, and then Musani, you were at DePaul 04, I was at DePaul 04. What were some like make it or break it moments? Like, what's something super cool that happened to you? For me, like personally, I joined like my freshman sophomore year. I had a really weird story, honestly. My freshman sophomore year, it was just me commuting to school, taking my classes, coming back home, and chilling with my family and my friends, like my high school friends. My junior year is when I actually got involved with Ummah. And Ummah is the MSA at the DePaul Muslim Student Association. So like my junior year is when I got involved, and like a lot of people transferred in my junior year. So it's like really weird because like I was there all 4 years, but I didn't really get involved until my junior year because I just didn't really know that many people. But like how about y'all? How was that? How was your like clubs, all that?
I think as soon as I joined, my friend wanted to start a PSA, so I was like, bet, I'm gonna follow your lead. I'll help you with whatever. And then I attended a couple Ummah events. I think Jamal convinced me to go to some. So I was like, yeah, I just want to meet more people, see how they feel and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much. We both started like junior year, so
Yeah.
it's kind of the same. Nothing really changed.
I think for me, I think it's kind of similar to Jamal. Being like first gen, I definitely didn't know what to do and what not to do. Because you walk in, especially coming from like a Desi household, the biggest thing in your life is your academics, right? And the whole point of college, it's not like we're not supposed to go out there to have fun, have experiences. You're supposed to go out there to get a job. Like that is just the reality of it. And for me, I feel like for me in college, like those first 3 years, I never had less than 2 jobs. At some point, like I had 3. And it wasn't really till senior year, I feel like, that I really decided that like this isn't what I wanted, and I really reflected on what I was doing. Between like working 40-hour weeks, working 50-hour weeks, trying to manage grades, I realized that I wasn't doing myself a service, and a lot of what I was doing was like, I'm trying to pay the bills and get out of here, before realizing that like that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life anyway.
I completely agreed with everything you just said. I wish I was able to enjoy my experience at Loyola a lot more. First of all, when you're paying so much money for a private institution, you wish you could just, like, I feel like I didn't take advantage of anything. I never went to any games. I never used the gym. Like, I literally don't know what my money went to. And that's because I was so busy commuting. I was so busy working 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to pay for the tuition. I was so busy just focusing on my grades because I'm like, okay, and if you're paying this much for a tuition, you better get like all A's. There's no messing around. I think just the balance of me trying to balance my academics with my social life, and then mental health even played a role in that, where I just started becoming so overwhelmed with everything that when I look back now, I just wish I gave myself a little bit more of like I wish I just stepped back a little bit more, where I was able to enjoy, like I could say like, yes, I went to a university, I had that college experience. Like I'm not saying anything crazy like going out and stuff, but just being involved and say like, okay, I know this about my college, or I know this about my college. Like I literally couldn't go to any events because they would conflict with my work times. Like if I did go to work event or if I did go to events at Loyola, I would have to take off from work, and then I would get home and I was like, and then I would feel guilty for taking off work because I'm like, okay, I could have made like $60, but I went to like a dance. Like it's just, it always just went in my mind, and it's kind of just the way I think also. But I just wish I was able to enjoy it more, like take advantage of just being a college student, because this 4 years of being a college student is just not going to come back. Like after this, we all know we are starting our life. Like we have to get a job. Musani, okay.
No, I'm finding, I'm hitting the reset button at some point. I'm going to find the break.
Oh, well, yeah.
I was going to say, though, I don't know if you, like, I don't regret it, but I don't know if you regret it.
I do
like,
regret it.
You have to do what you have to do to get through it, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like, I did what I had to do to make ends meet. Yeah. And I feel like anytime I was in that situation where it was, like, I'm at work, I still tried to make it to the best of my abilities. Like, so for any job that I've ever had, I've definitely had, like, work friends and then friends that, like, those work friends that end up becoming, like, your normal friends.
Yeah.
So even if I didn't meet a lot of people at DePaul, it was always, like, whether I was at Express or, like, now when I'm at, like, my accounting firm, like, I had friends from there and, like, we would go out with them. That's so it wasn't like I had, like, my UMA friends or my PSA friends. So that was definitely a big part of it. But I think it's always keeping track of, like, you do what you have to do.
That's true. I guess I wouldn't, like, regret it fully. But, again, like, the social aspect, like, I don't know. It's the whole, like, I'm paying so much. Like, I want to feel like I'm going to school like this. But my entire time was like, okay, class ended. Got to go hit the CTA or I'm going to miss it by 15 minutes and I won't be able to make it to my car. I won't be able to make it to work. Like, that's just how my brain works for 2 years. Like, yeah. Like, just these things, I just wish I just took it easy. I just relaxed a little bit more. So I think my biggest regret would just be for me to I wish I just enjoyed things in the moment.
Live in the moment.
In the moment, yeah.
I think something that happens when you go to college too is like, I don't know about y'all. So like for me, I was really close to my high school friends in high school and even like beginning of college. But as college goes on, you find new friends and you kind of grow apart from your high school friends. And then for y'all, it's probably different because you guys went to Oakton, so you guys probably had Oakton friends too. And then when you transferred, you grew away from those friends too.
Yeah.
Like how was that transition like socially?
So I was lucky that the 2 friends I made at Oakton, they actually transferred with me to Loyola.
Oh, that worked.
So yeah, that worked out perfect. Like I was saying, like I didn't make any friends at Loyola, but it worked out because I had 2 friends that I carried with. So I mean, yeah, that mine was a little easier. But how about you, Tamor?
Yeah, majority of my friends actually transferred to DePaul too. But then some of the guys that didn't transfer to DePaul just stayed at Oakton. Since they lived so close in the area, and I lived really close to the campus as well. I ended up I like doing my homework at Oakton. So after I would come off the train off the yellow line from DePaul, I literally walked to Oakton Community College because it's close by, and I'd literally sit there do homework. And if I caught somebody, I'd shake up with them, say what's up, and catch up. But yeah, I never really, and since we're all so close in the same area, I never really got distant from anybody. But I was pretty close to everybody. I made sure everyone was doing okay. I kept in touch with my DePaul and Oakton people.
Yeah, it's like I just realized we didn't even talk about what our majors were when we like
yeah.
started. Like so from high school to college, right? Did you guys even know what you guys wanted to do? Was that even a thing? Because for me, I didn't. And I just kind of like picked something randomly, and I'm like, hopefully this works out, and I'll find other fields like around it, and it ended up working out all the way through. But like, how was that for all of you?
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I always wondered, when do you realize like you know what you're gonna do? Is it just after taking like certain classes? I know this might be like a stupid question, but like I always wondered like how do you find it like so later? Like like you go into a college and you don't know what you're gonna do. Like isn't that kind of scary?
It's super scary. I mean, for me personally, right? Like I knew there was like this field I wanted to do, and it revolved around like social media, computers, and like some kind of interaction. And my major ended up being interactive in social media, which like I didn't know what it meant, but it sounded really cool, right? So I went into it and I took a few classes, and DePaul is really cool because like the class sizes are like not that big. It's like 20 or 30 people. So like because of that, like I had like specific coursework for like what I was trying to do that you probably wouldn't get at Oakton, for example, right? So I was able to be hands-on my freshman year, and I really enjoyed it. And I took a lot of like my gen eds and like my side classes, major electives, they were all like around communication and design. So I was able to like taste all that in my first quarter at DePaul. And like I just honestly I enjoyed doing it. It didn't feel like homework to me. It didn't feel like I was like going out of my way to do it. Like I actually enjoyed doing it, and that's how I figured out that that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, like going into DePaul, so I've done accounting all 4 years, and I know like you hear a brown guy talk about accounting, and it is what it is. But I knew like I took it in high school, so I knew I was good at it. And I think for me, like if I'm good at something, I will always embrace it out of the fact that I know I can. If I can do it better than you, then I know I can make something out of it, right? I think I always carry like that chip on my shoulder. I knew what I was doing. I could be good at it. And for me, I feel like when I started, I didn't know where it was going to take me, but I knew like it would be a worthwhile investment because it's something that would pay out of the gate, right? Like I didn't want to major in something that I would do for 4 years for fun, but then it wouldn't pay me anything because then like what did I just do for 4 years? Like I did a lot of nothing. But I think really around like the second half of like college, like junior, senior year, I realized like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do with this kind of degree, and I'm gonna make it turn out to be a means to an end. So I wouldn't say that like I knew every time what I was gonna do, but now I feel like I have an idea of this is like the path I want to take. This is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna get to where I'm gonna get to.
I always had a business mindset. Like I always knew I was gonna want to do something business related when I went to college, because I'm just like if you guys know me, I'm like a hustler. Like I just love selling stuff. I love sales, and so as soon as when I went to community college, I started with gen eds, and then I narrowed it down. I'm like accounting, yeah, no, that's not it. Finance, no, that's not it either. And then I was like, marketing, I guess that works. So I was like, I'm just ride the wave, and then here we are. I love what I do. I just knew that those two other things just weren't my cup of tea, and marketing is, so I just went with that.
So my major is social work, and beginning after I left high school, I knew I wanted to be with children. I knew I wanted to be with people. I knew I wanted to help, but it wasn't until I actually got a job in a school where I realized that I actually enjoy helping more than I enjoy teaching. And obviously it's helping in general, but I didn't know that there was such thing as like a profession where you can help in like all these different types of cases, and like, you know, like whether it be mental health or it was just social work is so broad. And I knew that I am not someone who can be stuck doing the same thing for the rest of my life. Like I like change. I like different things. So, you know, I went for it. I took classes. I transferred in to Loyola. The reason I actually went to Loyola was because of their social work program. If you know, with social work, a lot of the jobs, you do need your master's degree. So Loyola had a really great 5-year program where I can do my bachelor's and master's in all 5 years, which is why, inshallah, I'll be going back to get my master's there. But I really enjoyed all the classes. Like, it wasn't until Loyola where I got to experience actual social work classes, and it was just a relief for me because I didn't get social work classes at Oakton, so I didn't really know if I would like it or not. So I was just taking a gamble, but went into Loyola, took the classes, really enjoyed it. Again, Jamal, it felt like it didn't feel like a chore, or it didn't feel like it was like in the way. I just enjoyed everything I did in those classes. So yeah, just went with it. So
I didn't even know social work was a major, so that's awesome.
really,
To be honest,
you know
not
what?
gonna lie.
Not many colleges. Again, I was so constrained with the places, like the universities I got to choose from. It was either like, I think there was 2 schools that had in our area, because I wanted to stay close to home. There was only 2 colleges that had social work as an undergrad. So I'm like, great. Like, first of all, I can't leave anywhere, so that already constrains it. But then I have 2 colleges to choose from. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I'm glad Loyola had it. So
Yeah. What were your guys' other options? Like, you chose DePaul, you chose Loyola. Like, what were the other options?
Northeastern.
Yeah, for me, it was like IIT and like U of I. U of I wasn't trying to be away from home, and IIT just seemed lame to me in my head.
I always wanted to go to DePaul, straight up.
No way.
I've always, because I just know they have a
Always
good
wanted
business
this
school.
since like the 7th
See,
grade.
he
Wow.
knows, man. I got proof. I've always wanted to go to DePaul.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the vibe. I went to so many. My mom would make me go to like campus tours or whatever they had, and I barely remembered it. And I was half asleep, so I don't even remember. But I just remember going to like Lincoln Park campus and all this stuff, just walking around with a tour guide, not knowing what's going on. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think I was limited in what I wanted to do, but I still like went out and applied. And obviously, like, alhamdulillah, I got into where I wanted to get to. So like, I had my direct admission to the U of I business program. I got into Indiana's Kelley School of Business, Marquette, Loyola. So like, the works around here for sure. I think, granted, had I known what I do now, I think I would have applied further out and stretched it to actually maybe move a little further, because I think I had the grades and the ACT score. I just think like where I was 4 years ago versus where I am today, like, I don't know if more if you would agree, but I don't think I was as like confident or as like grown of an individual as I am now. I think had I known what I did, or if I was anywhere closer to who I am today, I don't think I would have chosen DePaul.
Yeah, 100%. Like, okay, so scenario-based question for all of you guys. Let's say, like, there might be people listening right now that are, like, into transition from high school to college. Let's say you're in a scenario where, like, you know exactly what you want to do, right? And you know what college is the best program for it. you have admission. Do you go or do you go to community college in that scenario? Does it just come down to financials?
I think it all depends on the money. Like
Okay.
at this
Yeah.
point, I feel like every year college is becoming so expensive that there's going to be a point where there's going to be more people entering community college than, in my opinion, than going to a university. And if you get scholarships, like it's like you have to be either like an athlete to get like a really good scholarship, or you need to be like top 1%, or like you need to show the university that you're going to represent them in any way. And mostly it's like sports, or like just
Just find different ways to differentiate
Yeah.
yourself. But sports is like the main
it's
thing.
the main thing. And I'm like, okay, even if I did well in high school, and I did do clubs, is there like something that would keep me apart from Loyola, like, or make me stand out in Loyola, where people, like, they could give me a scholarship? So I think it all just depends on the money. Like if you can afford it, if you can pay out of pocket, or you have grants, scholarships, then good for you, you should do it. But if you know that you going to a 4-year right away is going to be a little difficult on either your parents or you or anyone, then community college is, again, we talked about this, it is a great way to go, and I would totally recommend it.
If this quarantine stuff continues and fall classes are online,
Oh, there we go.
definitely to go to Oakton, because it's pretty much the same thing, and you save your money. Like,
Yeah,
straight up. I've had this
for
conversation with so many individuals.
Because
I'm
you
like,
don't
yo,
have that social atmosphere. You don't have to
Yeah,
worry about
it's-
that. You don't have to
it's
worry about
all
the campus.
online. It's the
Like,
same
yeah.
thing, just
You're not
for
meeting
cheaper.
people in person. Like,
Exactly.
I feel real 3-1 in these arguments we're having, but I'm gonna take the disagree again.
Go for it.
So for me, like, obviously, if you know what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, you had like that admission at like a top university, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what are you waiting for? Even with quarantine though, like, tomorrow, like, I see your point and I see what you're trying to get at.
Yeah.
But I can't guarantee that if quarantine's over in a year that I can get back in that school, because they're gonna view you differently. Like, your high school achievements aren't viewed anymore. That's all.
That's
That
true.
stuff that I just put in work for 4 years, that's gone. I am who I am as a student at
Yeah.
community college. And for me, I feel like that freshman and sophomore year, especially if you're thinking about it, like we just touched on this, like, experiences, like, that's a huge part of college, right? These 4 years, like, obviously they're supposed to be the best 4 years of your life. I really hope for all you they aren't, because then that's a really
They're
sad
over.
that's a really sad life to live. But it's a good thing to have those experiences, because you're going to be working for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
Make use of what you have right now. And also the big thing for me is, first you get those experiences, and also you get people you're talking to. Like, you're going to meet the sophomores, the juniors, and the seniors. You're going to meet the recruiters that are going to be trying to get you into a job. You guys, I mean, for me, when I view it, I'm thinking about this as like, I have to run 4 laps, and you guys are going to let me get a 2-lap head start. So if I can get those extra 2 laps, I'm taking them every time. If I can afford it, obviously, if you're gonna go,
You can afford
if you're
it,
gonna
though,
go
right?
That's a big
160K in
Yeah.
debt,
It's a big
That's
don't
what I
do
was
it.
trying to emphasize,
But
like,
I-
if you can afford
But
it.
I think if you're going, like, so let's say you're getting a degree in like comp sci, right?
Uh-huh.
It's something that you know is gonna pay well, and you're going 65K in debt.
Yeah.
I'll justify that, because in 4 years I can pay that off. I
Yeah.
know my first offer that comes in from a top university will be enough to justify paying that off.
Wait, so like, but if campuses are online in fall, what are you actually missing out on?
I feel like you still get to make friends, right? They'll still definitely do things for you to make sure that it's different. And at the same time, you still get to meet those recruiters. The difference in between, even if I'm online, Jamal, like that sophomore year, what if I'm not online? What if winter quarter, not winter quarter, but I guess like spring semester, we're not online?
I mean, people transfer after freshman year at Oakton too. You don't have to transfer after
Yeah.
two.
But it's
You
a lot.
could have
It's
one.
definitely harder, because now you're not viewing me for who I was as a high school student. You're viewing me for who I was as a community college student.
I mean, I feel like. So, do you guys think it was easier to get your grades up in high school or at 1 or 2 years at Oakton?
I was just too distracted in high school.
Yeah, high
Yeah.
school was harder.
I
Community
just
college is
couldn't
pretty
focus.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I was so into like track, and I was just, that's a whole different story, but I was too into like, friends and stuff like that, where
Same.
I just
I'm on the
didn't
same
care
boat.
too much about like academics. And obviously that what's the word? It obviously what
Fair warning to any high school seniors listening to this. I would say, in my opinion, the hardest class I've ever taken in my like entire academic career was like AP Calc. I don't think there's anything I
dang.
took in
No, I
like
didn't even get
college
that far.
that compared
Yeah.
to like any AP course.
Big mood.
So if you've taken like an AP course, I think you're definitely ready for like the college level coursework.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was, I mean, I don't know if you wanted to bring this up later, but that's the difference between me and my brother. My brother just graduated from high school too. And me and my brother were complete opposites. Like in high school, he worked so hard, and I'm really happy for him that he's going straight to a university, because I know he deserves it. He took his class, he took his AP classes, he took his honor classes. Like, he just worked so hard, and because of him working so hard, it showed. It showed in the scholarships he got. It showed in just everything. And that's why for him, like, That's why I never told him like you should go to community college, because I know he worked really hard in high school. His grades showed it. He got all these awards and everything, and he got his scholarship to go to a 4-year university. And again, even like, if I think about it, like, I know your sister told you to do it, but I don't think I would ever have told my brother to, like, hey, you should still go to community college, because again, I think he deserved to go to a 4-year university. He worked his butt off. So
On that note, though, real quick, of the 4 of us here, 3 of us have younger siblings.
yes.
Would you, Jamal, I know you've got younger brothers, I've got younger siblings. Tamor, you are the youngest.
Yeah.
But if you, like, obviously, like, you have people in the community that look up to you.
Right.
What would you tell them in terms of college? Because now you've been through it, right? You've been through those 4 years. You know what you're expecting. What are you going to tell them?
If it's financials is the issue, like, go for it. Because my sister was the academically smart one. She was the gifted one, and she went to community college. I'm like, okay, if she's going to community college, I'm definitely going to community college. I'm not going to a 4-year if she's going to community college. So I followed her footsteps, and then I just roll with it as soon as I got out. But again, if financially you're not as stable as you think you can be, and you're also confused about what you want to do, definitely go the community college route. But I mean, if you think you know what you want, go for it and go straight to a 4-year.
Yeah, for me, like, I have 3 little brothers, and next year's, like, as soon as this year's over, I'm gonna have 3 brothers in high school, freshman, sophomore, junior. So they're all when they go to
Wow.
college, they're all gonna be college at the same time, which is crazy from my parents' perspective, because they got to deal with all that tuition, right?
know.
So
Oh,
like
gosh.
for me, it was like a lot easier. It was different because like I was the first one, and my parents didn't give me a financial like strain. They're just like, go wherever you want to go, and I wasn't smart enough, and I didn't really think about the whole financial thing. Hindsight 2020. I wish I did, and I wish I went to Oakton, but I wouldn't change it because I learned so many things going to DePaul that wouldn't make me who I am right now, right? But advice that I would give to like my little brothers and other people in that situation, like have that conversation with your parents, dude, about financials. It's really important. Have that conversation. As my mom's walking down the stairs staring at me, definitely do that. For my brothers, I'd recommend them going to Oakton for the first 2 years and then transition over. But I think the financials is such an important thing. You just can't overlook it.
I mean, having an older sibling really like matters. You didn't have that, so you didn't have that knowledge. But I looked at my sister, so I just went off that. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't know what to do either. So it's really crucial.
That was me. That was 100% me. For me, I've got 3 younger siblings, right? But I think advice definitely shows off in your personality and your characteristics. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely more of like, I'm the optimistic. I'm like dreaming all the time. So for me, if I was giving advice, if you've worked for it, like shoot for the stars. What's the Kanye line? It's like shoot for the stars. So if you fall, you land on a cloud.
I mean, yeah, dude,
I think
100%.
so, yeah.
Like, yo, if you
Like,
grind
land
in
on a
high
cloud.
school, listen, if you grind through high school, you take your AP classes, you get your college credits, you land a
You
big
deserve
scholarship,
it.
go for it,
You
dude.
deserve it,
You get all that
yeah.
tuition off, go for it. But if you're paying like the base rate tuition at like 40, 50, 60K, like I don't think it's worth
No.
it personally.
I was gonna say, there's a lot of people that I've went to high school with that had the privilege to be able to go. Like, they had their parents paying for their tuition, and they go to their colleges and they just completely screw up. Like, they don't do any, like, they just kind of go crazy. And I always think of these people, and I can't help but think, like, you worked so hard in high school, you got to the school, and you're so privileged enough to your parents are paying for it. You don't have to worry about you working and trying to get that money out of your pocket. And then you mess up and you just kind of go all over the place and you don't focus on your grades. I can't help but like feel sorry for not only them, but like their parents and whoever else is paying for them. Again, I'm mentioning like money so much, but it's the truth. Like, that's what's been like kind of like the biggest thing for me with going to college, is just trying to pay for the tuition, So if you have your parents support with like them, like again, like them saying like go wherever you want, we'll pay for you, please don't screw up. Like, you're very privileged and you're very lucky that they're paying whatever the tuition fee is. So please, like, take advantage of that and do good in school, do whatever you have to. No one's saying that you can't have fun, but like balance it out. There's so many people that went to such great schools, and then on Instagram or Snapchat I'll see them chilling back home in Des Plaines, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, you literally went to, like, you got accepted to an Ivy League, your parents paid for like 2 years, and now you're home again. So it just kind of like makes me think, like, if you can go, if you're doing it, just do it to your fullest. So
On that note, though, I think we definitely have pounded the community
Oh,
college
yeah,
Yeah,
we have.
we did.
So I was gonna say,
It was
how
worth
about
it,
we
though.
talk about like our experiences real quick?
Okay.
Because now, Anam, you congratulations, you're done.
Thank you.
Jamal,
thank you.
Tamar, We're all coming up pretty
Yeah.
We got a
quickly.
few weeks left.
We got a couple
Yeah.
weeks left. I don't know about you guys. That senior wall, I'm feeling it right now. But hopefully,
Totally,
you know,
man.
grind it strong. What do you guys, what is a regret? What's something you wish you did differently? What's
Yeah,
your
hold on,
4
hold on.
years in review?
Let's do it like this. What was your favorite year of college? And talk about something that happened that year. For me, definitely my junior year. I feel like senior year, I was like I got senioritis, but at the same time, I took on like so many bigger roles in like my clubs and my activities and in my community that I didn't have time to like really enjoy socially with my friends as much. But like my junior year is like where I thrived. Like I started doing photography a lot more. I started being a lot more involved in the organizations, like meeting new friends, hanging out with people. Like a regret would be just not getting involved sooner. My freshman sophomore year, I was so isolated, just thinking about school alone. Like how like Anna mentioned, like the school home. Like I started like coming out of my shell my junior year, and I think it just took time finding the right people. But yeah,
I think I'm gonna agree with you that junior year, like, as soon as I got to DePaul, I was already before I knew it, I was volunteering and doing a bunch of stuff there, and I did not feel like it felt completely different from the Oakton vibe because at Oakton I was just doing school and that's all I was focusing on. So just the fact that I started joining clubs and activities, I met all these new people. I think that it's junior and senior were fun up until senior just got kind of depressing, but junior year was
Bro.
definitely, or senior year definitely got depressing, but junior year was definitely like the whole year. I met a lot of new friends. I met Jamal. Me and him were just doing different things. But he was taking a lot of pictures for me with his photography, and back when I was had my own business and whatnot. But
VOP.
Shout out VOP.
Yeah. So
No,
yeah,
wait, hold on. So real quick, I feel like also like being a junior year, like in your junior year, you're friends with a lot of seniors, right? Like a lot of I mean, for me personally, I was friends with a lot of people that were seniors, and they graduated. So my senior year was like, wow, now we're the oldest, and then like there's like a bunch of kids coming in freshmen and
hits
like
you.
transfers,
Yeah,
yeah. Like so, I feel like junior year was like that perfect like prime position for me though.
I don't know if I had friends as seniors, but I feel like there's not a lot of stress. Like you don't when you're a senior, like wow, this is the last year,
Capstone.
and you have that in your head. But junior, you're like chilling. You're like I got time. Like I'm living life. I'm having fun. So I think that's what we were living in the moment pretty much.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of like looking back at it like wow,
Yeah.
it's all in the past now.
Looking back at it, so DePaul's on quarters, so I'm going to cheat this question a little bit. I'll take 3 quarters that are in a row because I am not taking spring quarter of senior year. I've done nothing but sit in quarantine.
Yeah.
But if I was going to take 3 quarters, spring quarter junior year, fall quarter of senior year, winter quarter of senior year. So for me, like freshman year, I feel like I had like the whole transition phase, and then I had a ton of drama. So in sophomore year, I
Ooh.
cut out all the drama, right? Drama's a big
Drama.
part of college.
Drama's
Dang,
real.
look at
Drama-
you.
So like sophomore year, like I cut out the drama, but once you cut out drama, like you'll learn real quickly. You're cutting out a lot of people, and once you cut out people, you're like, all right, like fresh start. And then junior year, I feel like that's when like that DePaul tuition price hit. And I was
Yeah.
like, I really need to just bust for everything that I have. And one thing I'm not gonna forget, like fall quarter, I saw Jamal on campus, and Jamal was like, "Bro, I've never seen you here. I didn't even know you go here."
Bro, literally, I didn't even know that Basani went there for all 4 years, and I was there.
And then like I remember like winter quarter, I would see Jamal like every other week maybe because like there were so many like PSA events or like a random UMA event. So I think for me, it really wasn't until senior where everything clicked. Like this is it, and I got to figure out what I'm doing. So on that note, though, I feel like something someone said to me this year that I think made a lot of sense was if you're gonna go out and choose clubs to do, pick them. You guys have heard like how LeVar Ball's got like the 3 Bs, like big ball
Yeah.
brand. So someone told me stick to the 3 Ps. So do a club that you're passionate about. Do a club that like a professional one that you're like gonna get involved in to meet people, and then do one that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Because until you're not
100%.
outside that comfort zone, you're not gonna grow as a person. If you're not growing as a person, then I think you're really doing college wrong.
That's really good advice.
I really wish we had Unfiltered. Like if you're listening to this right
Yeah,
now, this is
seriously.
I would have
good
followed
advice.
the 3 Ps all the way out, man.
Wait, yeah, so like that kind of ties in with like frats. What do y'all think about frats? Do you guys recommend them? Like business frats, I think are cool because professionally, like network. I think networking is so important, dude. I
It
didn't
is.
realize it until
Super.
later.
Huge.
Networking and planning for your future. Like when you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, you're not really thinking like I still got time, right? But like
Yeah.
really like roadmap. You gotta build a roadmap.
I see Jamal killing it on LinkedIn all the time.
LinkedIn's a move,
I'll
y'all. If y'all are
see
not
him
on
res-
LinkedIn, get on it. I'm
I'll
being
see him
serious.
responding and adding people. And I'm like, wow, I feel bad.
You
I'm not
got
doing
to.
everything Jamal's doing.
No, you got to.
I think it depends on what you're going to do in terms of a frat, right? So we've had all this discussion on culture versus Islam. If you're joining a frat to have experiences along the lines of what like you shouldn't be having, are you really staying true to yourself? Like you're doing it to do things that you know you're going to feel guilty about. But if you're doing in terms of like a business frat, and DePaul has a couple, like most colleges have plenty. if you're gonna be in a business frat, chances are you're not gonna be doing the things that you shouldn't be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna be drinking. You're not gonna be doing like drugs, whatever. Not to say that like we're gonna judge you for doing them, but to say that stay true to yourself. If you're in a frat and you know you probably doesn't fit you, don't do it. But I think it's a great way to meet people. I think a lot of people have that stigma, especially I feel like I've heard it from brown people a lot, that you're paying for friends. Like, so what? Like, people do it all the time. You pay your club dues to get where you have to do, right? You pay for so many things in life. Are you really going to be upset that you're paying to have a couple brothers?
I really have no opinion towards frats because I witnessed them in the 2 years, and like, I mean, even when you're watching shows as kids, you see the jocks and they're like doing crazy stuff and whatnot. So I mean, you definitely network a lot and you meet a lot of good people. So I mean, if you're gonna be in a frat, just do the right thing, be smart about who you are and stuff, as Masani was saying.
There's so many alternatives too. Like, you don't need to
Yeah,
be in
I
a
was gonna say
frat.
that there's so many different at this point. There's so many different clubs, organizations, just resources that I feel like that you think you're getting. You're only gonna be able to get from like frats. I feel like you can get them at this point anywhere if you just do it. If you just kind of you reach out yourself to do it. You like go ahead and look for them out yourself. I don't know. I don't think joining frats is like completely necessary, like to find friends or make connections. Because again, you can do that other ways too.
I feel like if that's what you want, do it. Go for it, right?
Yeah.
Be true to yourself the whole way through. But if you're just doing it to meet people, do what some more did. Start something. You know? Like freshman and sophomore year, we just had South American Student Association. Tamor comes in, he's starting his whole little Pakistani student association. Now you got like the Pakistani people in one little club. Like if you're trying to do it to meet people, do it your own way. Figure it out. Be different.
100%. Yeah, no, like, honestly, looking back, for me, it was like the MSA, and it's like so like just like this whole stigma of like the MSA kids or whatever. Like, don't go to the MSA because there's the MSA kids, and I had that same stigma too going in. Like my freshman sophomore year, I didn't get involved at all. But then when you like meet people that are like you, have the same morals as you, have the same values as you, you could easily strike up conversation, make friends, go out to eat. Bro, Devon runs are a vibe. I'm telling y'all, if y'all are in college right now, if you guys haven't made a Devon run with your college friends, if you live in Chicago,
See, I missed in that. Everyone's like, "Did you do Garib Nawaz run?" I'm like,
You
what
didn't
is
do
that?
Garib Nawaz at all?
Loyola, you go straight down
How are
the
you-
street.
yeah, how are you
one
at
block.
Guys,
Loyola
I'm
and
telling you, I missed every single thing a
I
Loyola
took my white friends to
student.
Devon.
please
I
take advantage of
know.
that, y'all. Please.
I mean,
if
hey,
you're
I
in
still go
college.
back for grad school, so I want to take advantage of that.
Dude,
Oh,
I took
yeah.
my white
I
friends
got
to
one more
Sabri
year.
Nahari. It was great.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a moment in college that you're like particularly proud of? Like proud of yourself, or maybe like you got something done that you didn't think you were gonna get done. Proud of yourself because you realized you were growing, or just proud of yourself because like it's something you'll remember.
I'm just proud of the work I put in at Oakton because, I mean, I don't mean to bring it back to community college, but I just thought I was dumb. Like, I just thought I was dumb in high school. Like, I was like, why aren't I getting good grades? Like, why can't I focus? Like, why am I all over the place? Why can't I just do, like, what other kids are doing, get good grades, get scholarships? And then I'm like, okay, I just deserve to go to Oakton. For that reason, I was like, okay, I guess all, like, people that don't care about their academics go to Oakton. So I went and I was like, you know what, Anam, like, you're smart. Like, you just need to focus on that. Like, stop focusing on other things that don't matter. Get your grades up, and you know you can do it. And alhamdulillah, I did so well at Oakton. I got my GPA up, and I got the scholarship that I wanted to go to. I'm never going to be able to get accepted to Loyola. Like, Loyola's never going to accept me. And I just had all these, like, I just was so hard on myself. And I'm just so happy with how I did. Even after Oakton, like, I did so well at Loyola, alhamdulillah, and I'm just so proud that, like, I proved it to myself that, you're not stupid, like, you're fine, you're doing really well. So that just made me happy. Like, it seems like kind of silly, but I was just so hard on myself. So, going to Oakton, getting those grades, and going to Loyola, getting those good grades, getting accepted to the 5-year program, all of that stuff, it's such a big accomplishment for me. So I'm always going to look back and, be happy about that. So
100%. I was on the same boat. Like, it was the second semester of my sophomore year, so I'm like, yo, this is make or break it time. I'm about to transfer. Got to get these grades up. So I was taking like 5 classes, and I was nervous, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do. I'm not the best student, but I prayed a lot that year. I was like, yo, I need to take this seriously. And I remember, alhamdulillah, I got straight A's. I had a 4.0 GPA. I was like, I really did this. I was like, yo, I never thought I would be able to do that. So that definitely, like, that was the moment where it turned around. I'm like, yo,
Swaggy A's.
I'm in swaggy mode activated. So and then I walked into DePaul, I'm all swaggy, and then there you go. From there, I was just went with it.
For me, dude, it was like I felt like I went through my whole college experience, right? And like the biggest thing for me was getting that like junior year internship. Like being able to
Wow.
like have something on your resume that like everyone else probably wouldn't have. Like
That was
just
dope.
get some kind
That
of
is
work
dope.
experience.
That is a really good feeling.
So like alhamdulillah, I was able to like land an internship somewhere where I was like super proud of, and like, and you said like stepping out of your comfort zone for like growth. Like I was able to put myself in that situation for like last summer, and like I was living on my own for the first time, in, like a whole different city. So I grew so much through that. And then on top of that, like my senior year, I became president of like one of my favorite organizations. So like I stepped out of my comfort zone a lot, and like alhamdulillah, it's paid off. And I knew that if I didn't do that, I would have a lot of regrets. But now I could like look back and be like, we're like almost graduated, but like I don't have any regrets because if I didn't do certain things throughout my college, I wouldn't be where I am now. And alhamdulillah, I'm happy for the person that I am now. But like still so much to grow, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't. It's never gonna stop.
I'm gonna go story time here. If you know me, like like A, I hate losing. Like Samar and Jamal, I feel like you can attest to that.
Oh yeah, he doesn't like to lose.
And B, like I'm so competitive.
You
Like,
lose
it
way
is-
too much to hate losing, bro.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. For someone who hasn't beat me too often, Jamal does talk a lot.
Too often.
But I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. Out of love for you, I'm gonna.
We're
let
gonna
you
play
talk.
1-on-1 once this all ends, and
This
then winner versus me.
100%. But so for me, senior year, DePaul sent out an email for commencement speakers in January, knowing fully well that like it's something that I wasn't comfortable doing. I like put it off. I put it off. April comes around. It's due on like April 9th, and this is like April 7th, and I'm like, man, like if I don't do this, I'm 100% gonna regret this. Because even in high school, like when Samora and I graduated, I definitely had a chance to speak, and I didn't bother doing it because I was like, I don't want to stand in front of people. I don't want to talk about what I want to talk about. So I went ahead and I did it. April 8th, like I had a draft written up. And I totally remember because I saw Tamor on the train. And I was sitting there and I was typing something out, and I saw Tamor. And then I went home. I listened to some of the prior commencement speeches. I was like, mine sucks. I'm not doing this. Ripped it apart. Next morning before the deadline, I wrote a brand new one, submitted it, went into the second round, but I lost, right? And I hate losing. But for me, it was super humbling. And out of the fact that it was all about like that growth out of it, because this isn't something that I wanted to do. This isn't something that, like a couple years ago, had I lost, I probably would have thrown like a whole hissy fit. Sore loser mentality really up there. But it was definitely a moment where I was like, like I'm not the kid that walked in here 4 years ago.
That's beautiful.
That's pretty deep, man.
Yeah.
Mashallah, that's deep. Are you guys happy? Are you guys happy? Like 4 years done, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you guys feel content? Do you guys
Alhamdulillah.
feel fulfilled? Do you guys have any like lingering regrets? Like,
I just like I hate how it ended since it's like
Corona time.
Yeah, it's like I don't recall my last time on a train. It's that I never thought that would be my
Yeah.
last time. And I liked commuting for some reason. A lot of DePaul kids complained about the train.
I thought it was
liked
just a
the
waste of
train,
time, dude.
And I know it's unsanitary and stuff. I know it is a waste of time, but I made the most out of them. I
do
used
something
that
out of
hour.
it.
I would do
Yeah.
something on my phone. I'd like take notes or something, or I'd like write stuff down in my notes. I don't know. I use that time wisely. I like that 1 hour leeway. And I am a morning person, so I like that. So I'm upset about how it went down, but we just got to keep moving forward with it, I guess.
What was your
But
guys' last moment on campus before this whole Corona thing happened? For me, bro, I went to an 8 a.m. history class, walked in, left, went right back home. That was my last day on campus. Literally, I was on campus for 30 minutes.
I had a night class. It was a Wednesday, and I had a night class ended at 10. And I remember just walking back to my car, like it was all spooky. My car was the only one, and I just remember everyone texting, like, "Okay, this is gonna probably be our last day." And I just look at Loyola, just take a moment in, and I'm like, "Screw you! I hate you!" And I just
my
walk
God.
out. I'm telling you guys, I just have such a love and hate relationship with the camp, like with the university, with like tuition being so high, and then I'm like, it was like pretty good. Like you had good times here. I'm just like. There's no gray zone for me. It's just either black or white. So, I mean, I wish I didn't have that mentality when I was walking out, but now I'm sad. I'm like, I worked so hard. We all worked so hard. We don't even get to like walk or anything. And yeah, there's virtual graduation, but I mean, like, it's not the same thing.
Tune in for unfiltered graduation
yeah.
pics.
Yeah.
Are you happy, though? Are you, like, happy of your 4
I'm
years?
happy, yeah. So sum it all up, guys. I'm not all negative, okay? I'm very happy with everything that happened in the 4 years. So alhamdulillah to that.
My last moment was so for us it was right before finals week at DePaul, right?
Yeah.
So I had a 1:30 to 3, and it was one of my accounting classes. And the professor is notorious. She hates cheating. Like the quarter prior, she found someone had like a note card underneath the desk, made the entire class retake it.
Oh my gosh.
So for her, like having an online exam, worst case scenario. So I just totally remember sitting there for 90 minutes hearing her complain about online exams. And granted, the class average on the final was a 96.
Go my history final and then get
Midterm average was a
canceled.
58. No one cheated though.
yeah.
That is
There you
low.
go.
My final ended up being optional. my history final.
Oh.
I was so happy, dude.
I'm sitting through proctored exams right now.
Swear to God.
I think it's hard not to be happy though. You got to feel like you're accomplished. I think a lot of us though, you might be hungry though, right? Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
did these 4 years, but that's not it. Like it's not
Yeah.
it. And for me, I came in going like, I am never going to another quarter semester, day and a half of college in my life.
Well,
And I think like I've like thought it through to the point where I'm like, all right, like this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm coming back. Like
Yeah.
I know already, like I'm planning out the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, again, man, it's all about that growth. I think I know what I want, and I know I'm gonna get it. And I think that's what college really teaches you. It teaches you how to be resilient on yourself.
Definitely.
Figure out who you are. Figure out
Facts.
what you want out of this life.
Masani, what's your sequel?
Stay tuned.
All right.
It won't be DePaul though. Stay tuned, but it will not be DePaul again.
So yeah, COVID's been crazy, dude. Like a lot of people had like plans and like stuff that they were gonna do over the summer, jobs that they were gonna have. They got like rescinded
Internships getting
offers,
canceled.
Yeah.
internships, like everything's been happening. Have you guys like figured out? Wait, so I know you say you're going back for grad school.
And
but,
I'm
like,
so happy I have
Yeah.
that, because if I was graduated and I was done and I just had to figure out my life after that, I have no idea what I would do, like completely. Like wouldn't have any guide or anything. So I'm really glad that I can say I still have another year of like school to go to, and then hopefully I can figure out my life by then, inshallah. But how about you guys? How are you guys feeling?
I have a job / internship, not say internship that I'm like deciding between what I want to do. I have a couple of opportunities, so I'm just trying to figure it out. But I had one that was originally planned to actually do, but that got canceled due to COVID. So yeah, I'm trying to plan out my options. But yeah.
Alhamdulillah, the internship that I'm doing for this summer didn't get canceled, but it's just all online. So that I'm blessed for that, alhamdulillah. But like after that, I wanted to like eventually the goal was to get into a full-time position somewhere. But because of COVID, I'm gonna go to the grad school route too.
Yay!
Yeah, so I'm gonna be going back to grad school in the fall, inshallah. That's the move for me. But I mean, yeah, right now with COVID and stuff, I think like the smartest choice for me is to get that out of the way, since it is like industry standard for my role too. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, for me, accounting recruits a year out in advance, and where I'm working right now, I've had it since sophomore year. But like, I feel like with me, I'm never content sitting where I'm at. So I had multiple offers on the floor, like fall quarter of senior year. Wavered through those, picked one out, and so far, like I haven't been canceled, I haven't been pushed back, anything like that. So I'm in a pretty good spot. I think had I not been though, the grad school route would have been so tempting, just because you want to get out of the way.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
dope. All right, so we're reflecting right now to wrap it up. Like where we're sitting right now, we're reflecting on our entire life up till now. Has college been the best 4 years of your life?
No.
Nah.
For me, yes. For me, yes.
Really?
Okay, but I'm gonna take it to like, it's gonna be cheesy, but I mean, I met my fiance there. I met my fiance in
Wait,
community
congratulations.
college.
Yeah.
Thank you. So for me, I mean, if it sucked academically, I was still happy. I got a man out of it. So
She,
I
she
guess
had
that
a
works.
she had a fairy book ending though. Like,
I
this
did.
Is, this is some
Alhamdulillah.
Disney
and that's
stuff
in
right
Oakton.
here.
Let me give a little shout out. If you think you're not gonna find anyone at Oakton, you might like reconsider yourself, because I mean, I found someone. So.
And then
Yeah, I
Yo,
met him.
hey, this is
I gotta go.
Disney.
Freshman year.
Disney, if
Well,
you're
damn.
hearing this, Netflix, like
Gotta
figure
go
that
back.
out. Yeah.
I got lucky though, man. I'm telling you, Oakton does have a bunch of. What's the word you keep saying?
Delinquents.
Delinquents.
He's really
Yeah, I
big
gotta.
on. he's
I
really
should
big
use
on
a different word. I
delinquents.
apologize.
Delinquents makes it sound bad, man.
This should have been a better word to use. Just troublemakers.
There we go.
Dude, 2016 was the best year of my life, which is
Senior
senior year of high
year?
school. 2016.
Summer 16?
Everyone talks
Summer
about 2016. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fact. 2016 was a really good year for everyone for some odd reason. So I think I
Until
really
you got to the fall, but
I really
that
love
is what
that
it
year.
is.
And everyone was saying like, yo, 2020 is gonna be our 2016 because it's
Oh,
our senior
no,
year.
yeah.
People felt
Psych.
that.
They just
And
hyped
then
it up so much.
yeah, it got nuzzard.
Yeah, it really. No one said
terribly.
Bismillah, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, no one said it.
I really thought this was gonna be the sequel to 2016, but it was.
I don't think it's like the best 4 years of my life, but I also think it shouldn't be. You know, you should have fun with it, but this is you're setting yourself up for everything else that's coming after this.
No,
The
but
work-
so far, up
so
till this
far,
point.
man, I don't know, because I feel like in college, bro, I worked my butt off, right? Like I had overnights at Express, and then I would come back and work at 8 a.m. at the
Aren't you
accounting
proud of that
firm.
though?
No,
Aren't you
I'm
happy?
not, because
No?
I feel like, dude, I put everything I had out there to the
Yeah.
point where, like, at some point, I feel like I was doing it for the money. Like I was paper chasing so hard,
I
Yeah.
feel you. I feel
and I was
you.
only
Completely
paper chasing
agree.
to make tuition like ends meet. You know, had I
Completely
obviously
agree.
like loaned it out and just said whatever, like maybe it would have been the best 4 years of my life thus far. But I think, man, it's hard to compete with summer 16.
But do you think you grew the most in these 4 years?
Oh yeah,
Right?
Oh, yeah.
without a doubt. I think until
Doesn't that
you
make
have
you happy though?
I feel like until you have your skin in the game, college doesn't mean anything. Until it's
Yeah.
you putting your stuff out there, knowing you got to show up to class, knowing you got to get the grades, figure everything out. That's when you're going to push yourself.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, like if your parents are paying, alhamdulillah, you're blessed. Don't let that go to waste. Like put in the work.
I think the growth from 8th grade to like senior year of high school is a good amount, but then when it's high school or freshman year of college to senior year of college, it's like double that amount of growth that you would partake. I feel like. Would you guys agree on that?
You're a brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
the growth is there, but I feel like it's double
Yeah.
than it is in high school. Even though
Yeah.
and even though 8th grade to senior year of high school is a lot of growth as well.
Because you mature, you become a man, dude. You become a
Yeah.
woman. Like,
I
that's,
do. I
yeah.
felt
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
difference between high school and college. I was just like, holy, I'm like a
You're in the
different
real
person.
world.
Yeah.
You are, yeah. You mature like
Yeah.
completely. You're off on your own. So
Yeah, speaking
kinda
on
have
it, man,
to.
like senior year to more and high school versus like college senior year to more, it's crazy. Like the 180.
I
I
appreciate
probably-
that.
I
was
think
on
I
the
think
same
that's
boat.
big. You're
I
definitely
appreciate
gonna
that.
you're gonna see it
Same,
without a
trust me.
doubt.
Dude,
even
yeah.
even
I bet we all.
junior year to more to senior year to more from Jamal's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Dude, like, yeah,
I mean, I
no.
guess.
I got to go with Anam on this one, dude. Hands down, this has been the best 4 years of my life so far.
Mhm.
So far, I've grew so much that I can't even imagine like that was even possible.
Yeah.
Because I just pushed myself to be outside my comfort zone the entire time. So like, alhamdulillah to that. Obviously, looking forward to way more, inshallah. All of us.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So what's one piece of advice you can give? One thing you can say, one sentence to either you're in college right now, you're gonna be a senior, you're not graduating, or you're coming in. What's the one takeaway you're giving?
Put
That's
your.
what you-
I think honestly, what you said, like, put yourself in at least one situation where you're not comfortable in, but something that you know in your mind that you could achieve and you could do. Do it. Just go for it, and see what happens.
That was a real that PPP
That was an
thing,
amazing
that was-
piece
that
of
was-
advice.
that was
Like,
good.
I'm stealing it from you.
I'm really
yeah,
glad you
that
said
was, that was good.
Have you guys?
I think you should really put yourself out there, get out of your comfort. Yeah, just make the most out of your experience and
Yeah.
opportunities
Mine would
and
be
stuff.
live in the moment. Definitely.
I'm stealing that. Plan for the future. Know what you want out of this.
Mhm.
Keep that end goal in mind, but live every day like to the moment,
Mhm.
because you never know when it's gone. Like we were all here
Seriously.
complaining,
Yeah.
and now we're
I
sitting here
literally
in
said,
quarantine,
"Screw you."
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
like
dang
you
it, I
never
wish I
you
was
never
back.
know when it's gone. You know,
Yeah.
take advantage of it. I guess like we can be in agreement that it's the best 4 years of your life right now, so live it, because
Mhm.
it will
True.
get better from here for sure. But make
Inshallah.
sure it can
Inshallah.
get better from here.
Make every day your best day, man. I'm
Yes,
saying.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Eid Mubarak again to everyone.
Eid
Thank you guys
Mubarak.
so much for listening, and assalamu alaikum.